Hi, I'm Mystic Zach here to recap my Week 3 predictions. This past week I went 4-0, improving to 15-0 on my guaranteed free locks. Now, first off, I talked about Georgia taking on Notre Dame. This was a powerhouse game. This was a game between two juggernauts with good defenses and offenses playing. They have two great coaches in Kirby Smart and Brian Kelly. This was a game in which two real contenders were playing, two real college football playoff contenders were playing, and it was a very big game, a pivotal matchup. I guarantee Georgia would win, and that's exactly what happened. Georgia won a tough, gritty game and ultimately edged out Notre Dame. In my opinion, they had the better athletes and better coaching, and that rang true. Quarterback Jake Fromm did just enough to win the game. He was very efficient, didn't force the ball too much, and running back DeAndre Swift was pretty damn dominant. He was continuously making the first tackle or miss, and it was clear that he was one step above everyone on the Notre Dame defense. Ultimately, my prediction rang true, and Georgia did edge out Notre Dame. Next, I talked about the Dallas Cowboys taking the Miami Dolphins. This game went pretty much as expected. A little bit of a slower start than I had anticipated, but ultimately the Dallas Cowboys won 31-6. The Dolphins simply didn't have the personnel to handle Dallas's front seven, nor did they have the ability to handle their front five on offense. Dallas's offensive line and defensive line were just too strong, too good. Dallas's offensive line is probably the best in football, and the Dolphins' defensive line is probably the worst in football. This continuously rang true throughout four quarters. Star running back Ezekiel Elliott at 125 rushing yards. Rookie running back Tony Pollard at over 100 yards. Dallas had almost 250 rushing yards. It was a dominant game in the trenches and one that Dallas was surely happy about. It was a game that maybe started a little bit slower than you would have thought, but ultimately Dallas won by 25 points, and how much more can you ask for? Next, the New England Patriots beat the New York Jets just as I predicted. This wasn't too hard to predict. The Patriots are hard enough to beat with a fully healthy team, let alone your third-string quarterback. Tom Brady did at what he does best. He was accurate, precise, through all his receivers, all his tight ends, all his running backs. He was accurate, short to intermediate to deep. He made all the correct reads and did enough to win this game comfortably. He's a guy who doesn't make mistakes. He takes what the defense gives him. He doesn't force anything, and he's truly the greatest quarterback of all time. It's a pleasure to watch him every single week. Next, I talked about Green Bay taking on Denver. I thought Green Bay was not going to give this game up at home. Aaron Rodgers is too damn good. Their defense have been looking too great. They've got great pass rushers and some great free agency additions, I might add, and Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith. They are a havoc on the edge. They are proving to be great free agent signings. Mike Pettin was right in signing them. They are a big upgrade over former outside linebackers Nick Perry and Clay Matthews. Although they are not as big of a name as Clay Matthews at this point in their careers, they are much better. They are really wreaking havoc on a lot of offensive tackles. They're a lot better than most people had anticipated, and they're really giving Green Bay some extra juice. Green Bay's defense has been elite so far, and I think that's a theme that may continue. They've got a good secondary, great pass rushers, and we're too much for Denver to handle up front. Denver has been playing some good football in spurts, but really hasn't been able to put together a full 4 quarters of good football that has led to their 0-3 start. I think they could have really started off a lot better. I think they have the talent, but really haven't been finishing plays, especially on defense. They have 0 sacks through 3 games, 0 takeaways, and they're a team that I had expected a little bit more from, especially from head coach Vic Fangio. He is supposed to be a defensive genius. Last year he was the defensive coordinator for the #1 defense in the league, the Chicago Bears. We'll see if Denver can bounce back in these coming weeks, but I'm not so sure. They do not look like a complete football team. I'm Mystic Zach, and that's my Week 3 recap.